small bright room. Small room. Right, let's just move to a big room. Let's go to a hall. So that's reverb. That's one of the effects we'll be looking a lot at, because as you can imagine, you can use that to do a lot of different things, you know, and support. And you know, we could record. Right. So there's this whole section up here, and as you can see, this can be larger than can fit into this. You notice these ones are slightly different. Are you looking at the same thing I'm looking at? See if we're going to get something that looks like what I have up here.
Yeah.
And then you have this one, and you can see it kind of hides and shows a little panel. Yeah. And also, see there's one down here as well. Pick that as well. Just turn off this light so you can see the screen like that. Is that too dark?
Yeah, it's much better, I think.
Okay, much better. Yeah, see the way you can click this. But also you can resize these panels as well. See if I go in between these two things here. If I get rid of this one, you'll see them a bit better. So this is arrangement view. We have things arranged from start to wherever along. And you can see it's arranged in time down the bottom. So there's 0, 0, 0 for the start. And there's 45 seconds in. You could have something in here that could be 10 minutes, 2 hours, doesn't make a difference really. Now, if I click back up here, I have a mixer for a start wall. Yeah, so there's a mixer view here. Now there's MIDI tracks here and audio tracks. We're not going to be using MIDI tracks for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, but then we'll be spending a lot of time on it. So as I was saying last week, I'm going to spend a while just looking at mixing audio and multi-tracking and what multi-tracking is and how you mix audio, and then we'll be able to use those mixing skills while we're kind of developing our own music. Yeah? Okay. Now, you have these other tracks over here, and these are special tracks for hosting effects. And then there's a master fader here, which is going to give us the overall volume for whatever project we're working on. There's also a help field. See down in the bottom left corner here. If you just click that, and now just pick anything on the screen, something that you're curious about, and just move your mouse over it, and then just have a read of what's going on in that box in the corner. So it's giving you some information about what's going on. Now we can make this more simplistic. This once more see if it works. See this section here, there's a lot of information there. I'm going to hide that. To do that, I'm going to use this. See these sections over here? See the top one, it says I, there's a little dot and an O. You all see that?
Yeah.
Just click that. You can see that panel closes.
Oh, yeah.
If you click it back, it's back there again. So that'll come into play in a little while.
How did you get the time? You know, the way you said that 45 seconds in or 10 minutes?
Okay.
2 buttons up there in the top.
See these buttons up here?
Yeah.
Or even better, have a look at your keyboard, and on the left hand side, just under 2 buttons under escape, there's a tab button. See tab?
Oh.
Press tab.
Ah.
I'll go between those two views nice and quick. Now, just to kind of, I'm not really going into MIDI here, but I just want to show you how you drag things in. Go back up to this button in the corner, and just click it once to open it up. And you see underneath that we have sounds, and then we have drums, yeah? Just click on drums then. This is the browser. This is how we find sounds and drag them in to live. Okay, see the first one, Acoustify Kit. Yeah. Okay, just click on that. Alright, if you haven't got your headphones in, right, stick them in now, just put them in one ear or something like that so you can hear me as well as do stuff.
Or 606, sorry.
Yeah, you can just drag that one out. Do the fourth one.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever the first one is, it doesn't make a difference anyway, because even if the sound is different, the principle is going to be the same. Just as long as you get something that looks like this down below here. Okay, so you have these little play buttons down the bottom, but they're going to be for previewing the sounds. So see these slots up above this channel. What you need to do is just double click in the middle of one of these, and it'll make a little clip.
Oh.
So this is the clip. Now, once you see this whole area down here, this is the area we're going to be using. So just click in here, see where my mouse is? Click down and drag up and drag down. You can see this is the full range of sounds we have at our disposal. And drag all the way up because you want to see this one kick. See kick 606 there? And there's a little preview section just opposite the back here.
How did you get the boxes smaller?
The box is smaller.
Yeah.
Right. See the way I can drag up and down?
Oh.
If I drag side to side, it zooms, yeah?
Ah.
There's a couple of things like that, where you drag one way it does one thing and drag another way it does something else. So now once you have that, see when the mouse is in this section here, see it's the little biro, the pen. So just press B on your keyboard, it goes back to a pointer. And B again.
How? Sorry. How get bored?
Just press B on the keyboard.
P.
Yeah, if you don't like keep
B.
B.
Yeah, it is.
And you can use this as well. If you don't like using keyboard shortcuts, there's a little thing up here that allows you to switch it on and off. Okay. Everyone more or less got it?
Yeah.
Okay, grand. So, let's say we want a basic disco beat, yeah? Remember I talked last week about a bar being divided into 4 beats. Well look, here's this little divisions. This is 1 for first bar, there's first bar second beat, first bar third beat, first bar fourth beat. So I'm just going to 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm just going to press play on this pops up here. Well, do that in a second. Make sure everyone has that. Now, if you double click right in the middle of that, yeah. Just inside the box there. Just right on the main there. Yeah, so now here's the thing. Yeah. You click in there. Now there is built-in lessons in Live, and if anyone manages to get a copy of Live, it's well worth looking at the built-in lessons. But it's just taking up screen space at this stage. So there's a little X up in the top corner. Just X out of that, just give yourself a bit of space. Okay, so just even a very simple beat, all I have there is a kick and a hi-hat. And you'll notice there's two ways that this can be playing back, because there's a play button here, oops, there's a play button here, and then there's a play button up the top. So if I press this play button, this one starts automatically, yeah? Now if I want to stop it, I can hit this button here. But also, the space bar is the best way of starting and stopping. So just try the space bar. Now, the thing is, if this is not going, I press the space bar. You see the way these numbers are counted up, but there's nothing happening. This is because the main transport, the whole thing could be playing, but the clip might be started. The clips like have their own kind of life or their own behavior on whether they're playing or not. If I press play on it now it's up to start. And the reason for that is I could have two tracks here. So if I duplicate this, and I could have, like say, different sounds on each. You see the way I have one playing and the other one stopped? I'm going to look up for a second. See, the idea is this is why you can have the main transport, as it's called, is the transport bar, can be playing, but the clips might not automatically play. You have to tell them when you want them to start. Because they could have loads of channels of different things going on. Anyone any questions at this stage? Okay, so far so good, Jen. Now,
Sorry, you have two different sounds. So first sound it's a kick 606, and next sound what you used?
oh, it was just a percussion.
No, because
sound.
it's
It's just a percussion sound. It was just to illustrate that you can have two different sets of clips.
so how you put you just also drop percussion?
Well, yeah, it works exactly the same way. If I want something else playing here, I just drag it out. See, I drag out another kit here. I drag it onto MIDI track 2. Then I create another clip, and then I decide what do I want here. So now, stop that.
How do you see the way down the end? You've only a short space from, how do you
Here.
Yeah, see the way it says 1 to 16.
Yeah.
How do you
get
get-
1 over 16? Yeah.
Yeah,
This is like, that means that these lines here are 1/16.
right.
So
So,
click in there. Was you were saying something different?
yeah, like, say the way it's only going from start to finish and start to finish, like how do you extend that out so it plays on?
See if you want something that goes over 4 bars, is it?
Yeah,
Well, say if you want a 4-bar loop, you can just go down to the loop length and change it like that, yeah?
oh,
Now, I suspect though that's not what you're kind of asking. Like if you want a song, for example, is that what you're thinking?
yeah,
Okay, so how would you turn this into a song? Let's just get rid of this for a second, just to keep it nice and simple, yeah? So say this is going to be my intro, yeah?
yeah,
I'm going to rename it intro. Then I'm going to have another one underneath it. I'm going to duplicate this.
also it's kind of in samples the whole time.
Oh, this is how you kind of start it. So say this is going to be the next part, yeah? And I'm going to rename this 2. Then I'm going to duplicate this one. And I'm going to have something else going on here, like so now I have this one. And you notice only one can play at a time, yeah? See, this one's playing now. I'm just going to change the colour so you can see. I can go back to it. Now, once you want to start actually getting into a song, that's when this screen comes into it. Because you can record everything that you're doing in this screen into the other screen. So, this is where the master record comes into here. See this master record button?
Yeah,
So I press record here. Then when I want this one to come in. Now look what's happening here. See the way they recorded it?
yeah,
stop, everything I just did is laid out, yeah, from start to finish. You can see it's about 30 seconds worth of stuff there. Now, see the way it's all kind of slightly faded out and grayed out? Because, you know the way you press play on one clip here, it takes over from the last one?
Yeah.
It's because you can only have one clip playing on a track per time. If you wanted to have two of these playing per time, you'd have to have a second track that was exactly the same, yeah? And the same goes for these clips. You can't listen to these clips on this track. So you see this is Kit Core 60. This is Kit Core 60. This is 2 audio. If I rename this one, Fred. Here's Fred there as well.
Oh.
3 audio. If I rename it there, Fred 2. Fred 2. Yeah? So these tracks are basically the vertical versions of what's going on here horizontal. So I can't listen to these clips at the moment because one of these ones is playing. Now, if I press this special button here, I bring these ones into focus, and these ones are stopped.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we'll go back to the start here on this, see 111. Press play. You can see the playback line. And you can see now when that gets up to here, it's going to go into something. So this is how you lay out songs on this. Like you can make little edits. Now, does that explain that?
Yeah.
Right, okay. See the window at the bottom there?
Yeah.
How do you get that back? It's disappeared on me.
Okay. So say, are you looking at this or something blank?
It's blank. It says drop audio effects here.
Okay, so if I click on Fred, that's what you're seeing, yeah?
Right. Yeah.
Right, if I go back to Kit Core 60, right, I can do it on this screen as well. See if I just click anywhere in this one here, I'm seeing this device down here again. Now if I want to see where the MIDI notes are, I can click any one of these. See purple, green, and you can see the names there as well. So that's how you edit those clips. But you also have these tabs that allow you to go backwards and forwards. See these tabs down the bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone just make sure they find those 2 tabs, yeah? Now let's say we want to put an effect on this, right? We want to put an equalizer on it. Right? Can everyone watch this for a sec? Okay, so we've taken something out of this section here of drums, and basically all the other instruments work the same way as that if we were to find them. But there's one here called audio effects that we're going to be using a lot in the next couple of weeks. So go into audio effects and see there's EQ8 and there's EQ3. Now EQ3 we don't really use because what it does is it models a DJ mixer EQ, yeah? Which is handy for some things, but it hasn't got the flexibility of EQ8. So do you see the way I have EQ8 there? I'm just going to drag it and I can drop it. See there's a little kind of box underneath my thing there at the moment. And it doesn't matter where I drop it, it'll always end up on whatever track is highlighted. So now I have this device, this EQ8. Now if I wanted to drop it on track 2, or Fred as I call it, I'll drag it and drop it on that. So now I have one EQ8 there, none on this one, and one on the first one.
Where do you see if it's actually on it?
You can see, like if you're looking at this you can't see if it's on it. You can kind of get a small clue by the little miniaturized version there. Or you click that you can see there it is. Now it's nicely designed EQ because you can see the frequencies bouncing around. Now EQ, right? We'll be using this a lot tonight. And probably the most basic EQ will be a bass boost or a treble boost. You know, like a bass treble on any kind of stereo, yeah? Mm-hmm. But we're going to be subdividing the frequency spectrum a lot more than just bass and treble. You know, we're going to divide it up between sub bass, bass, lower mid, lower treble, mid treble, higher treble. You going further than that and breaking it down further and further and further. But just to get an idea of how this works, very user friendly. Bass is on the left, trebles on the right, and everything else is in between. So say if I want more bass on this, if I just grab one of these slots and bring it up, if I want to cut it, I drag it down the way. Yeah. Anyone know why I have no sound at the moment? Because this line has gone past where all my clips were. I want to forget about that, I just press play on one of these. So you got cut is beneath the line, boost is above the line, and then you move between bass up through the mid range, up to the treble, and you get a flat line. It doesn't do anything. And if you want to get rid of the whole EQ, just select it by clicking the title bar and press delete on your keyboard. Stop. So you just drag it out from where it says EQ8, drop it onto it, then make any changes you want. So for mixing, EQ is going to be extremely important. Whatever kind of job you're doing as a sound engineer or with music technology, you know, EQ is one of your most important tools. So we spend a good bit of time looking at that.
How do you get the bars up and down again?
Oh, these ones? Just by like double clicking on this. Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
So this is the MIDI notes. And basically, everything on this channel then, all of these clips here are all triggering this device. And this device has to flow through this EQ. And if you do something you really don't like and you can't figure out how to get out of it, just press Control Z and we'll undo it.
Oh, that's just undo.
Control Z.
Control Z, yeah. And you can do, if you undo something and you went, oh geez, I went too far, there's a redo, which I think is Control Shift Z. Or Control Y is redo, yeah. And yes, you can like go Control Z, 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 if you have to go mental and go back to something you did about 15 minutes ago. Double click, go into the folder and then just double click the little icon. It looks like a kind of a black SIM card. Just
Brings it down to the Ableton then.
What's that?
It brings it down to Ableton.
It will, yeah. And it'll ask you, do you want to save that kind of drum beat you're working on? Just say no, it's fine. So something like what I see up on the screen there should open up. Yeah. Now, just have a look back. Just press Tab and have a look back on the other screen. You'll see that there's no clips. Remember the clip that you created?
Yeah.
See, there's none of them there. And you see the way some of these things can't fit on the screen. See, they have to scroll backwards and forwards.
That's that.
Just make sure you can kind of see that you're going to scroll backwards and forwards, yeah?
Really nice. Where's that side?
Well, you can just press Tab then. Or you're not there. Yes, just so you can kind of scroll backwards and forwards on that, yeah? Okay, so have you got that? So, go into that. Yeah, this one here, yeah, the folder. Just click everything we need there. Because you can record in Ableton in live and record multi-tracks into this screen, and you're just using the other screen then as a mixer. Right. So the purpose of what we're just doing there is just to get everyone comfortable with the whole dragging and dropping from the mixer situation, yeah? So this is how you drag things in, and this is how you kind of move between tracks. Right, so if you go down to your file browser, this lab down here, and go into, see this room A2 in this device down here again. Now, if I want to see where the MIDI notes are, I can click any one of these. See purple, green, and you can see the names there as well. So that's how you edit those clips. But you also have these tabs that allow you to go backwards and forwards. See these tabs down the bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone just make sure they find those two tabs, yeah? Now let's say we want to put an effect on this, right? We want to put an equalizer on it. Right? Can everyone watch this for a sec? Okay, so we've taken something out of this section here of drums, and basically all the other instruments work the same way as that if we were to find them. But there's one here called audio effects that we're going to be using a lot in the next couple of weeks. So go into audio effects and see there's EQ8 and there's EQ3. Now EQ3 we don't really use because what it does is it models a DJ mixer EQ, yeah, which is handy for some things, but it hasn't got the flexibility of EQ8. So do you see the way I have EQ8 there? I'm just going to drag it and I can drop it. See there's a little kind of box underneath my thing there at the moment. And it doesn't matter where I drop it, it'll always end up on whatever track is highlighted. So now I have this device, this EQ8. Now if I wanted to drop it on track 2, or fret as I call it, I'll drag it and drop it on that. So now I have one EQ8 there, none on this one, and one on the first one.
Where do you see if it's actually on it?
You can see, like if you're looking at this, you can't see if it's on it. You can kind of get a small clue by a little miniaturized version there. Or you click that, you can see there it is. Now it's nicely designed EQ because you can see the frequencies bouncing around. Now, EQ, right? We'll be using this a lot tonight, and probably the most basic EQ would be a bass boost or treble boost. You have a bass treble on any kind of stereo, yeah? But we're going to be subdividing the frequency spectrum a lot more than just bass and treble. We're going to divide it up between sub-bass, bass, lower mid, lower treble, mid treble, higher treble, and even going further than that, breaking it down further and further and further. But just to give an idea of how this works, very user-friendly. Bass is on the left, treble's on the right, and everything else is in between. So say if I want more bass on this, if I just grab one of these slots and bring it up, if I want to cut it, I drag it down the way. Yeah. Anyone know why I have no sound at the moment? Because this line has gone past where all my clips were. If I want to forget about that, I just press play on one of these. So you got cut is beneath the line, boost is above the line, and then you move between bass up through the mid range, up to the treble, and you get the flat line. It doesn't do anything. And if you want to get rid of the whole EQ, just select it by clicking the title bar and press delete on your keyboard. Stop. So you just drag it out from where it says EQ8, drop it onto it, then make out any changes you want. So for mixing, EQ is going to be extremely important. Whatever kind of job you're doing as a sound engineer or music technology, you know, EQ is one of your most important tools. So we spend a good bit of time looking at that.
How do you get the bars up and down again?
All of these ones, just by like double clicking on this. Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
So it is the MIDI notes. And basically, everything on this channel then, all of these clips here are all triggering this device. And this device has to flow through this EQ. And if you do something you really don't like and you can't figure out how to get out of it, just press Control Z and it'll undo it.
Oh, that's just undo.
Control Z.
Control Z, yeah. And you can do, if you undo something and you went, oh geez, I went too far, there's a redo, which I think is Control Shift and Z. Or Control Y is redo, yeah. And yes, you can like go Control Z, 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 Z. We have to go mental and go back to something we did about 15 minutes ago. Double click, go into the folder and then just double click the little icon. It looks like a kind of a black SIM card. Just
Brings
double
it down
click
to
that.
the Ableton then.
What's that?
It brings it down to Ableton.
It will, yeah. And it'll ask you, do you want to save that kind of drum beat you're working on? Just say no, it's grand. So something like what I see up on the screen there should open up.
Yeah.
Now, just have a look back, just press tab and have a look back on the other screen. You can see that there's no clips. Remember the clip that you created?
Yeah.
See, there's none of them there. And you see the way some of these things can't fit on the screen. See, they have to scroll backwards and forwards.
That's that.
Just make sure you can kind of see that you have to kind of scroll backwards and forwards, yeah?
Oh, really nice to look. Where's that sound?
But if you just press tab then. Or you have it there. Yes, just so you can kind of scroll backwards and forwards on that, yeah? Okay, so have you got that? So, go into that. Yeah, this one here, yeah, the folder. Just pick everything as we click into the folder. And then computer. And yeah, you need to just copy that onto the back one. Just drag that whole folder onto this side. Because you can record in Ableton in live and record multi-tracks into this screen, and you're just using the other screen then as a mixer. Right. So the purpose of what we're just doing there is just to get everyone comfortable with the whole dragging and dropping from the mixer situation, yeah? So this is how you drag things in, and this is how you kind of move between tracks. Right, so if you go down to your file browser, no, this that down here, and go into, see this room A2? See where it says that? Just click that, and then there's a folder there, yeah, called What is Multi-Tracking? Dancing in the Moonlight. So if you drag that onto your USB drives, or if you haven't got a USB drive with you, drag it onto the desktop. Ideally now you should have a USB drive so you can save your work for this week.
So if you don't have the USB version there, where they actually drag it?
You have to drag it onto the desktop. But be sure when you're saving something to save it under your name or else somebody else will delete it.
Create a folder.
What's that? Roommate 2, sure.
I don't know what it is, but when I go into here,
Yeah.
is it? Oh, here it is.
Yeah, you just need to drag and drop the whole thing now, not anything from inside or anything like that. The whole file, not your desktop. Want your USB, yeah. If you have your USB, put it into your USB.
I just create a folder and put it in there.
Yeah, perfect, yeah. If you want to create a folder on the desktop with your name, that'd be a good idea, like ours or something. Yeah, it's just onto the desktop there.
Not put it onto the USB.
Oh yeah, sorry, put it onto your USB, yeah. Open up computer then. See this little arrow next to the computer there, and then go back up to where it was then. And then drop it onto that then, yeah. Okay, that's transform for you, grand, it is? Okay, great.
The lads can actually do this song if you want.
What's that?
The lads can, the band that are coming down can do this song.
You won't believe how many times I've heard this song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Any other song would be good, you know? Yeah?
It would be alright if instead of the lads that I do my band, just sing them in the chorus and everything.
Right. Well,
Like, if you say, if not, it's grand, it doesn't make a difference, but like, we could just use it as an opportunity.
right.
Or would I need to be absorbing rather than...
I don't know, it'd be handy if we were absorbing as well, I suppose. We might,
We'll leave it off.
yeah. What kind of sound to the band?
Well, there's a few different bands, 3 piece and we used to have a full 5 piece.
Yeah. And we all live in Waterford, like?
Yeah.
Right. Should we go with me? I'll talk to yourself and Sean and Harper. Yeah. Talk to yourself and Sean later. It's not Sean, you're Sean.
I'm Sean.
Yeah. I'm getting confused now. Right, is everyone copy that across?
Yeah.
Okay, so wherever you have it then, it's on your desktop.
Which makes sense a lot.
Yeah,
Я
exactly.
включила, записано заранее вот так.
So that basically solos that. Now if I go to the snare next to it, and then go through it track by track and hear whatever. And you can listen to the whole lot together, and if it's too loud, here's the master fader. As we go back to this screen, you'll see how you feel of it, but it's like it's playing next door or something. Yeah? You know? So if I needed definition, I can push it out. But again, here's another rule, yeah? Never EQ for the sake of it. See, like that has a bit of weight, but it's got no punch. Turn it up. See, there's weight there, but it's missing this. So now I know that those kind of 3 options are inside this sound. I'll go back to this. What am I hearing? What do I want to hear? So with no EQ on it, what am I hearing? Would you say it's lacking definition?
Yeah.
Would you say it's lacking weight?
No.
How about punch?
No.
Now, let me set these again. I'm just going to delete. This is the vanilla kick again. Now, think about it again now. What's it missing? Is it missing weight, punch, or definition? Now, I'll turn it nice and loud. I'll turn it it down again, yeah. Another tip as well, listening to something loud, you're kind of nearly clipping your ears. Pointing at something I wrote out earlier. But conversational level is where your ears work best, yeah? So the volume level you listen to the TV at, that's what you should work with music at. If you want to get yourself all hyped up, turn it up just to kind of get yourself back into the mix or whatever. But all your best critical judgments are made at this kind of conversational level, nice and like that. Plus your ears will last you longer. And you'll be able to spend longer working on music that day as well, because your ears won't get as tired. Still though, I know people just blare their ears all the time. And you can make something sound great when it's quiet, it's going to sound even better when you turn it up. Right, so now I've turned it down. Is it missing? What's it missing the most?
Definition.
Definition the most.
Okay. Okay, so you can make out that beater sound. You know that kind of boom. You can make that out more with that in. Now, what's it missing more of between weight and punch?
Energy. Oh, between weight and punch.
Weight?
Weight.
I think I have to say weight as well.
Yeah.
Now,
This must
you'll see some of these do different things. Like watch when I grab EQ1. What's happening there? I mean, this one is going like this. This one is doing something totally different. Right. Now, I'm just going to grab two. I'm going to leave one alone for the minute because I'm going to answer that question in a minute. Now, I'm going to go up to my sheet. Wait. Now I'm going to go look at the numbers. See it says 20 up to 73? Now see this number here? Shall I turn off the light so you can see it?
Yes.
Right, so I need to do that. Now, so I'm grabbing dot number 2 here. I'm leaving 3 up here because that's doing the definition job for me. So somewhere between 20 and 73, 50, right? I'm going to have that there. Right, does that sound better than that? Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Now, let's go to the snare. Let's solo this one. This is probably a bit more complicated. In fact, I'm going to leave this one alone and go to the snare top. Yeah, there's a slightly different job I gotta do here, yeah. Why did you get darker ones on, by the way?
Yeah, did you notice that?
Oh, right, okay.
Oh,
Right. Let's just have a listen to what's going on there. Does that sound kind of a little bit different to snares we're used to hear? Here's a nice snare, it's acoustical. Right, let's go back to this one. There's kind of an extra sound here, you know, that kind of ringing sound. It sounds like nearly it's being recorded in a tube or something.
Yeah.
That kind of, yeah. Now, here's a classic EQ trick. Say if I wanted to get rid of that kind of tubey kind of sound off it. You try to make it worse first. Right, so I'm just going to get this kind of EQ. I'm just going to sweep it until I've actually got it so it sounds worse than it did originally. There's quite a bit of bass there, that's alright. Right, that sounds... You're not there.
Sounds like it's made in a Pringles can.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. But see, it's much worse here than... This seems to be boosting kind of other frequencies other than that. bit harder to hear the difference between the boost up here and the boost here. But it's definitely, whatever's going on, I've kind of found it. Do you know what I mean? I've got it here. So, I found the frequency that weird kind of sound is at. So now what I have to do is, instead of boosting there, I cut it there. Now, it's kind of after getting rid of load here, yeah? So could I make that a bit more surgical? This is where this guy comes into it, right? Watch what happens with these diodes actually. See, the frequency goes from 20 up to 20 hertz. That's what these diodes are doing. And then there's the boost, there's the cut. So the question is then, what's this fellow doing?
Equals them, does it?
What's that?
Does it equal them, like making even?
No, what it's actually doing is it's deciding how wide or narrow this boost is going to be. So I'm just going to find that again here. Okay, so I need to, there's the frequency where that kind of horrible sound is. I'm going to pull it back down. But watch this, when I use this one, it narrows it up or widens it. See, so that's nice and flexible.
Those top two then just let you know where on the spectrum it is then, is it?
What's that?
The top two just let you know where on the spectrum.
Well, this one lets you know where on the spectrum it is.
Yeah.
And then this one, is it boost or is it cut?
Okay.
See, because you can boost this way as well. Yeah, I'm just going to do those steps again. So I go out to, here's my EQ and neutral. Right, there's the horrible sound. Pull it back down. Now we're I haven't cleaned it up totally, but it's better than it was. Now, so do you want to try EQing the kick? And remember what we're looking for. We're looking for definition and we're looking for weight. And then we'll go through this step again for the snare.
Are those numbers on?
Or I can boost them in a shell.
So brings the whole thing up and down together plus just one.
Exactly, and beyond the point, beyond whatever point this is at, it kind of smoothly brings everything up beyond this point. And you can do the opposite as well. See, you wanted to bring up all the bass below a certain point, this does it. But if you wanted to bring up one region at the bass, I just go into this here, I click it into that, and now I have this kind of bell curve again, yeah? Now there's another one as well that we use a lot, right? So, and this is particular to bass as well. So if I click in here, see this one? It's kind of like a slope this way. What this does is, it gets rid of all the frequencies below a certain point. Just a shred of that. So this is something we do quite a lot because, for reasons we'll kind of explain a little bit later, only bass instruments really should be providing bass in a mix. Remember I said earlier that you have to be able to hear the bass clearly. Well, to make sure the bass is heard clearly, you really have to make a space for it. Yeah? So you make a space for it by making sure that every other instrument doesn't have anything going on in that real low zone. You just cut everything in that real low zone. Yeah? And the only thing then that has frequencies in that real low zone are your bass guitar and your kick drum. Yeah? Because the way sound works isn't always the way you think it should work. Sometimes 1 and 1 doesn't equal 2, yeah? Sometimes 1 and 1 can equal 0. In other words, you could add bass to bass and they just cancel each other out. For reasons that, yeah, I'll show you in a while why that happens. So what you want then is to just make space down in the bass so the bass can kind of operate there and just kind of everything else kind of keeps out of its way in that real low zone. Yeah? Is that okay? Yeah?
Bedroom.
What?
Did I have to do that?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. So I just want to show you that step again where I got rid of the low bass on the snare. So I'm on the snare track now, and it's very easy to make this mistake, by the way, that you're going to listen to one track, but you're actually, see that snare solo there. I could be making all sorts of changes to this EQ and wonder, why aren't I hearing these changes? But the reason is, and actually this is the EQ that's on the kick track. See this says kick here? So I need to make sure that I'm on the track that I want to adjust, so I'm actually adjusting the right thing, or else I'll be just chasing my tail. Now, I'm going to go to dot number 1. Can you just select dot number 1 on your machines? On the snare track. And once you've dot number 1 selected, go down to this box down here. See this says number 1, and there's a little drop down menu there. And just click into that drop down menu, and see the second one from the top. If you just click that, you'll get this type of thing going on. And that's what we want. And that's just a kind of a bit of a tidy up job is what that's doing. Just getting rid of the low frequencies from that snare and any little bleed it might have had from picking up the kick drum. Well, let's do this again with the snare underneath the mic. Let's get another EQ from our audio effects, another EQ8. Remember now you need to drag from the name EQ8. Drop it on that. So now we're on snare U, and we've got a fresh EQ. I'm going to solo snare U, so I'm just listening to that. Okay, that's soloed. Snare U. And I'm going to dot number 1. And I'm cutting out the low end again. So I'm just doing the same step. Now, this is right down here. So I'm just going to drag it up. Okay, so just going to do those steps again. This time around snare U, yeah? The underneath microphone for the snare. And I'm going to solo that channel. So that's soloed. And I'm going to get the EQ8. I'm going to drag it and drop it on the snare U channel. I'm going to select dot number 1. And I'm going to select this curve here. See it? Got that? Then I can just get rid of the just want to get rid of some of that real kind of low bass. So I have it somewhere around this. See this line that says 100? Somewhere around there. The overhead right. Again, I'm changing this shape here. So it's a low cut, bring it up to 100 as well. So now it sounds a bit like this. Whoops, just stop the guitars. Does anyone want me to do that step again? No? Okay, so the next bit is a little bit tricky, so I'll show you this once or twice. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of these drums into what's called a group, because I want to be able to kind of mix these together. I want to be able to kind of squash them together with what's called a compressor, which is going to really help the sound come on another level. So what I need to do is this, yeah? I need to select all the channels that have the drums in them one at a time. I'm going to do this by pressing Control on my keyboard. and then selecting the channels one after another. See the way these are all kind of lit up now. Alright, so I'm using the header 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then when that's done, I'm going to right click up at the top, and then there's an option there for group tracks. See that? Now if I select that option, it looks like another channel's after coming up, but as you can see, this channel has got all these other ones inside it. Will I do that again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So here's the first one. Normally I can only select one thing at a time, yeah? See, I can only select overhead left, overhead right, snare, whatever. But once I press Control on the keyboard, I can select multiple tracks. So remember about the multiple track selection part?
Yeah.
No, I think I deleted everything.
I'll just press Control Z. The back?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just go.
Like, I was just going to listen to this drum mix again because I've added EQ to it. I'm after changing the levels a little bit, so I'm just going to see if anything's kind of a bit crazy. Kick might be a bit too loud. Let's bring that down a bit. Here's the snare a little bit. Now, is there anything we're hearing there in those drums that we don't really like? Anything that's a little bit irritating? Have a listen. And it seems too loud. What we got? We have a kick, we have the snare, and we have the hi-hats, basically, yeah? I'm thinking those hi-hats are just a little bit... Yeah, the crash. It's like all the tops are just a little bit great, you know? It's a little bit...
Your top snare is too high.
The top snare is too high. I don't think that that's what's doing it. I think it's these lads here. There's just too much treble coming through on these. Yeah. So, remember my shelfie kit? This fella. I'm just going to get this now. I'm going to need to do it exactly the same on both of them because these are like mirror images of each other. So I'm going to get number 4 and I'm just going to drag it down like that. And I'm going to do the same to the other one. And just hear what it sounds like. Now, how I knew to do that, I probably should have just experimented a little bit first. To be honest with you, I did like that because I remember doing it about 2 weeks ago with the other class, so I kind of cheated a bit there. Right, so we really did. It's not like that should have been obvious to me straight away. I should have went through that in kind of a slower step. Right, so I'm just going to solo one of these, and chances are what I do to this is probably what I'm going to end up doing to the other. I'll have a listen to it. See the way you can bring it up and bring it down? Actually, that's a little bit better here, maybe then. That's okay there, isn't it? On this one. Maybe the hi-hats are still a little bit irritating. So now I can either look at the numbers or I can just get a feel for where this is in terms of the shape of it. See, it's the kind of the third line up and it's the second line down. See where I kind of just located that there. And I'll just do that to the other one as well. The second line down and it's the third line up. So let's have a listen to that kick now. So now maybe your snare thing is too loud. If I think that's too much, bring it back up a bit. By the way, if anyone's kind of new to music production or sound engineering, you really have to have an appetite for listening to the same thing again and again and again and again and again. Yeah? And if you're living with anyone as well, they'll have to be very understanding about listening to it for a while. Now, something that's going to make this a lot cooler is when I get something like a group compressor. I'll explain what this is next week. We probably won't do any, we'll be doing this again next week. Now, we won't be going to the studio next week. We'll get this glue compressor. Just have a listen to the effect that it has on the sound. Just put it on. Put it off. Now, it's making it louder, which is no great trick really because we have a fader that makes it louder. But it's actually squashing the sound in other ways as well. Like listen to the body of the snare. What I mean by the body is the snare is after the initial slap, the kind of the tail of it, yeah? But it gets a bit bigger with this on. So with the tail just seems to be a lot shorter with that on. And also notice that even though it's louder with it on, this doesn't really bounce up a lot higher. It gets really good here with it on, but there with it off. A massive difference. So after we've tackled EQ for a week or two, we're going to be tackling compression. Compression is a bit mind-bending. We'll explain how it works, but it's not necessary to kind of know all the ins and outs of it before you start using it, basically. But it is one of those things that's going to make your music kind of fatter, fuller, and louder, yeah? And it's something that you can really use wrong as well. You can ruin your music with it as well. There's tons of stuff out there that's compressed within an inch of its life, you know? You really have to be kind of careful what you do with it. And it's another thing like EQ, you never just use it for the sake of it because you think this is the button that makes it professional or something. That's how it works. Okay, now, here's how you save your projects, and it's vitally important because you're all logged in under the same ID that you save it with your own name in it, or you'll all be overwriting each other's stuff. If you're saving it on your USB sticks, sound, it'll be grand. Now, file, save like set as, and then just stick your name at the end of it or at the start of it. What is multi-tracking? Dancing in the Moonlight with Dane.
Wait, can you do that again?
Yep.
Need I save mine since it was all gone anyway?
What's that?
Since everything that I done was enough gone when you had to close it and open it again.
I think you saved it anyway, so.
Yeah, I saved it on this, but I mean, are we saving any changes or are you telling me?
Oh, no, save the changes, yeah.
Yeah.
Save the changes.
Yeah, but what I was trying to say was, remember, I had to close mine altogether.
Yeah.
Back in, but I have
Is it
to
save like
start all
save?
over again. Like, save like
No,
as,
no,
yeah.
you shouldn't.
Oh,
I mean, everything, that, when you open it up again, it's not all there, no?
Oh, yeah, it is, because I was at saving it, yeah.
Yeah, so just go file and save.
Okay.
So file save as, yeah?
And where is it usually addressed? Because I changed to my USB stick, so which address will be now? I'm a little bit far away.
Okay, so go into
So-
computer there.
In computer, yeah, so here, for instance.
Seagate, there we are.
No, it's my one. It's for myself, for my home. It's my one.
Oh yeah, you're going to save onto that though,
Okay,
right?
for myself, yeah. So
And yeah, so just
Yeah.
save in there, yeah? So, alright, I'll show you that again. You go file, save live set as, and then it comes up where you're going to save it. You know, say if that's my USB stick, I'll click in there. Or you can just save on the desktop. But if you're saving on the desktop, make sure you stick your name into it, yeah? Now, just going to turn on the lights, so because I turn off the lights and I don't think to show you where I do the lights. And then, wait for 2 seconds, right? So say if you're recording on the drums, we have bass, guitar, 2 guitars, no vocals. Now these look like the channels, but you can see when I scroll backwards and forwards, these don't move. Because they're to do with a special type of effect, or a special way to use effects. And then here's the master control here. Now, so here was the level control, yeah? Now I'm just going to here's the level control, and here's the pan control for panning it to the left, to the right. I have only one speaker here, so it's not going to sound great. Now, here's another important control here. Remember I got you to do the soloing just before the break?
Yeah.
These are like track mutes, or track activators, we call them in live. And very simply, it just turns off the sound of those tracks. So say for example, I just want to hear the drums on this. I want to turn off the track activator for the guitars to the bass. So now I have... I want the bass. You can see the volume levels bouncing along there. Now there wasn't one of them on that mixer I showed you, but on a lot of mixers you will get those track mute buttons. And you might be wondering, well, why would you have a track mute button where you can just turn it down?
It's quicker, sure.
Well, you could have spent a lot of time getting lots and lots of faders into a very careful position. And if you were to turn them down every time, you'd have to redo your mix every time you turn it back up. So it's better after you've decided, okay, this is exactly where I want everything. It's better that you can just quickly turn them off and on as needs be. Yeah? So that's all that is. So, our track activators are pan control for left and right. For solo switch, we just want to hear that channel and nothing else. And then this is the record arm button. So this is going to become important when we're actually recording music into the program. But we don't need it at the moment. Right. Now the first tool of mixing is going to be the levels, yeah? So we're going to do a rough mix first of all. I'm just going to do it with the drums here. Typically how I'd approach it is, I'm going to take the kick down, snare down, the other snare down, and I bring everything down actually. It's all going to come down to 0. Well actually, I've used the term 0 wrong here, because 0 was actually up here. See, 0 is there. This is actually minus infinity. Because it goes 0 plus 6, and then the rest of the volume is in minuses from 0.
Why?
So that might take a bit of getting used to.
Why is it that way, like?
Because when it's at 0, here,
Yeah.
the fader is neither turning up the sound or turning down the sound. It's as if the fader wasn't there at all. So if the fader is there to adjust the mix, yeah?
Yeah.
So we usually adjust the mix by taking away the volume, yeah?
Oh.
Now, it could have been the case that whoever designed the first mixer said, I have a good idea to do it this way, and it's just stuck. But it does kind of make sense when you get into the mix after a while.
Right.
Because you're pulling things down. And
Can you go above that, like?
you can go up to +6.
And that's it.
That's it.
Oh.
But it's also a good way to think about it, because if you go above 0 on the master, you've got this clipping situation happening again.
Right.
So 0 is usually don't go past this.
Right.
This is your kind of your headroom.
Yeah.
Okay, your maximum headroom. Like when you go under a bridge, it always says max headroom.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's it. You just kind of leave it at 0. Yeah. Don't go past that. Even you usually kind of stay a good bit under it just for safety.
Yeah.
I'm going to use the levels here and nothing else. Say I could start with the drums, yeah? Now, I think I might have showed you this last week, but it'd probably help if we just had a quick look at a drum kit. Here we go. Okay, this seems to be okay, this one. It's all right. That's not bad. Can you guys kind of see that? Right, so we only have, what have we got? We've got 5 microphones, yeah? So we have 2 overheads, we have a left and right, we have one for the bass drum, and we have one above the snare, and we have one underneath the snare. Now, just get a picture of the snare drum for a second. There's a reason why we put one above and one underneath. The snare is different to the other drums, and it has kind of 2 parts. It has this part underneath. See, there's underneath the snare drum. On the top of it looks like a tom. Yeah, so it's a bit wider. But then you have this chain underneath. So when you hit the top part with a stick, you get a kind of tom kind of boom sound or bang sound. But you also get the sound of the chains slapping backwards and forth off the underneath skin. So that's why we have this sound going on to the snare. This is the so that nice high frequency sound, that's the sound of the chain underneath the snare. And then the top microphone on the snare sounds like this. So you get a little bit of the chain and a good bit of a kind of tom type sound, yeah? So here we have a kick drum mic, 2 ones to the snare, and these 2 overhead mics. Now, you can get the whole sound off the kit from these overhead mics. I just put them up, there's one from the left and one from the right. And it might be a good idea to start thinking about panning straight away, panning left and right. Like I pan this all the way left and all the way right. So if you're listening to this on the headphones, the left earphone is just going to hear what's coming in from the left mic, and the right one is going to come in from the right mic. But if you imagine my desk is the drum kit, yeah? Basically what you'd be hearing in the headphones is if your head was stuck right into the drum kit. You know what I mean? Because you're just getting the left hand side for this side, the right hand side for that side. And when do you ever listen to a drum kit like that? Well, a drummer does that, you know? But if you were listening to a drum kit, it's kind of, you know, it's where the door is, and you're kind of there, yeah? So it's more, instead of it being there, or don't look at this way, instead of it being this way and that way, it's kind of that, yeah? So it's about, I think it is the hour hand on a clock, it's at about between 2 and 3 o'clock for the right, and between 9 and 10 o'clock for the left. So that gives me a bit of space, yeah? It creates a kind of a wide kind of sound, but you know, not so wide that it sounds like I'm inside the kit. So can you do that now? So just to show you the steps where you do it again, all of the channels are turned down except these 2, overhead left and overhead right. They're all down. And then I just have these panned slightly left and right. So just have a listen to that and hear how it sounds. Remember, you just press the space bar there. If you want to experiment, put them all the way left and right and just see what you think.
All of them turned down.
Pretty underwhelming, yeah? So with this type of microphone setup, the overheads, they kind of give you the overall sound and colour of the kit. And then the other microphones, they kind of give you the punch and the So here's how I'm going to approach the mix. Is as the same with mixing anything now for this. With these playing away, I'm going to slowly bring this up. And what I'm listening to is the size of the kick, yeah? Or if you want to think about it, as you turn it up, it's like the kick is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. At some point, it's going to get so big, it'll make the overhead seem too small. And then you're out of balance. So you bring it up until it just kind of fits in the right place and starts to sound natural. Or if you want to think of it instead of size, think of it as you turn it up, it's like the kick is coming towards you. Yeah? So see, there's the cymbals and everything there. So as you turn it up, it just brings it up, and you want to bring it so that it's kind of level with the other one. If it's up too loud, it's like you're pushing the other ones back into the distance. Right? It's a little bit of a mind game, but you know, try it. And you can kind of go slow enough and just listen to it. So this is what I'm going to do. Well, it's obviously too small. Not too bad now. It still sounds a little bit wimpy. That's not bad now. I think that's a bit better. Now you might be thinking that's similar level to what these are at, but I'm sure that's just a coincidence. It's not going to be like that every time. Not your kick yet? Yeah, okay, so we'll do it with the snares then. That one got too loud very quickly, so I'm going to bring it back down. How do I know that's too loud? It just sounds a bit too aggressive or something. This is one of these things, if it feels wrong, then it is wrong. If you didn't have to do this on the feeling it gives you, then there'd be a menu option up the top going mix all tracks and it'll all sort itself out for you. But you need a human being to do it because you need to get the feeling back. Provide the snare sound. So by the time I bring the second one up, I might have to go back and bring down the first one. Now, am I getting what I want here? I'm not sure because I have to blend the two of these together. Okay, you bring up your snares until you're happy and then we'll do something different. We'll do something else. On this screen, change this to green. See how that's green there now? This kind of shows you that it's kind of playing something from the other screen. If I press stop here, see the way these vanish. And if I stay back, there's nothing happening in these tabs. See that these are all that are fading in colour. It's because these kind of clips have been told not to play, yeah? Now how to fix it is, remember this guy. Just click him again, and actually, he's also there. That's called the back to arrangement button, and it just tells whatever's on the screen that you want to play stuff off the arrangement. So now you can see these are back. So that can happen when you just press one of these by mistake. Back to arrangement. So just have a look and see if you can find that button there.
So if it's all back to arrangement, it should turn grey.
Yeah, exactly. If everything's playing off the arrangement, it's grey. If it goes orange, you know that it stops it.
Yes. It's a reset.
So we're listening then, in different parts of the frequency spectrum. Like I'm going to go onto my kick for a second. Just solo. Because I better turn off again. Now, remember before how I got an EQ? I go over to this thing, my browser is hidden, yours might be open. I'm just going to click that so I can see it. There's audio effects. And I have a look for EQ. I can't see it, but I'm going to scroll up. There's EQ8 there. I'm going to drag it. I'm going to drop it on the kick. Now it should be noted that there's an EQ on the kick, but there's not an EQ on any of the other channels now. It's just on the kick. So what have I got inside this kick channel? What have I got in the different frequency ranges? Well, if I just do a sweep, I'm going to give a boost and I'm going to sweep up. There's a very low bass. I'm just going to turn this up a little bit here. Okay, so there's that almost felt bass, yeah? Now this is also bass, but see it's quite different. This is more of the kind of punchy bass, yeah? And then we're kind of, these frequencies here are sometimes called boxy frequencies. And you can probably tell why, because it sounds like somebody's slapping a big cardboard box. We'll get into the mid-range now. So you're still going to get a bleed with the drum kit because all the different parts of the drum kit are still recorded at the same time. But if this was a scratch track, you'd hear guitars and everything in the background because the microphones would kick them up. Are you okay? Is there anything I can help with there?
Yeah, you can't try to go to the EQ or something.
Or just, yeah, okay, just drag. Let's see, maybe it's... Drag it. I need to go right onto the word. Let me do it all now.
Click the, see the way it has like the little box beside it there.
Probably because you only have one.
No, I should be able to do many things I want. Right, that was okay. Ah, yeah, okay. But see if it's not on the actual letters, it doesn't change. Now see the way I have two of them there? I don't want two of them, so I'm just going to select this one. See the way I select the title bar?
Yeah.
And then I go delete. Now, so again, this is what we have. So the question you need to ask yourself, got your eyes down? EQ is